The data dictionary. So 1:30 today, we've got a work group meeting. The format that I like to do at these is make it a little bit educational, but also we'll actually have some work group agenda items so you can kind of see the process happen. We'll talk a bit about, how you can engage, how you can be effective, and really try and get you emboldened to not be the And it's so funny because there's always like that one person when we have a vote that says no, right? Sometimes there's more, and that's okay. But we have the one that says no and then never chimes in. And I totally invite them to come forward and talk. So it's really what the work group is about, is having that engagement. So, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you can go back and apply your efforts to be most effective for your organization for the dictionary. So 1:30 today. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Paul Stuziak. I chair the transport work group, which is meeting at 2:30 today, but we've also got 3 subgroups under that. We've got the certification rules group. Sergio, can you stand up or wave your hand or something? We've got certification analytics. I'm sorry. I'll wait for the applause next time. Certification analytics, which is Dan, who was up here earlier, and he's maybe left the room. I don't know, it doesn't matter. And then Rick Herrera, and I've completely forgotten what group Rick is in charge of, but he's going to do the pain points session on Thursday, which is one of the most important sessions in the conference because it brings the problems that you're facing in your day-to-day work to us so that we can deal with them. Transport and its subgroups tends to deal with the technical aspect of how do I get the data from point A to point B, and how do I guarantee what that data is once it gets there? How do we certify that you're following the standard? It's a little bit more technical, but don't let that stop you from attending, because we really need all that input so we can get the right answers. And I'm sure that you have something to offer. So hopefully we'll see you at 2:30. We'll do lots of updates because it's been a busy 6 months since our last meeting. Thanks.
Thanks, and if we go a little long for transport, it's okay, because it's important work. So if you're going to be there for transport, be prepared that we might go a little long.
Thank you, Sam. Yeah, standing between us and a drink, right? Let's get to it. I'm Greg Moore. I'm the R&D chair. R&D. I mean, if you listen to what Dan said, this is where these ideas and dreams, come in and we talk about them. So I mean, I hate to say this, but if you've got a thought, a half-baked idea, that's what we're here for. We're thought of as kind of the top of the funnel. So, really we, take those ideas, we create business cases, we work through them, and then, all the other smarter work groups really take them and make them into a standard. So we meet the first Thursday of each month. For me in the West Coast, it's 11 o'clock, so it's 2 o'clock Eastern time. We really like to run a casual meeting. We're here to talk and really discuss and, like you say, kind of work through these ideas and really find, the right place in the standard that they fit and move them forward. So please come and join us. We meet tomorrow, I think in the afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. You'll meet John also, my vice chair. And, again, we're here just to really be open and take those ideas and work through them.
All right, good morning. My name is Jeff Bosch. I'm the chair of the Broker Advisory Work Group. Real quick, a big shout out to Nina Dosanjh, my vice chair in the back. Happy to have her here. Who are my brokers in the room? Raise of hands. Endangered species in a tech conference. When I first got into RESO, I asked, I'm a recovering broker myself. I don't twitch anymore. When my phone rings, it took me about 4 years on the MLS side. But it was interesting because I was trying to figure out who attended RESO conferences when I was new, and I talked to some of my my brokers and my board of directors, and they said, it used to be that the tech guys would all go to figure things out and the brokers would all go to the bar when they went to a conference. And I want to tell them, hey, you should come to this conference because all the tech guys are at the bar. I saw you guys all last night when it closed down. So, but I do think truly there is some type of a disconnect between how brokers speak and how we speak on the tech side. And broker advisory is really a safe place. You don't have to be technical. I would invite you to invite brokers to come to this space. We meet quarterly, and really think of broker advisory as a year-long pain point session. Basically, hey, this is what we're doing. This doesn't work. I don't know how to articulate the technical side, but ultimately we can ingest those in broker advisory and help distribute those out to other work groups. So it helps create other cases, other ideas, back to that idea of bringing halves of ideas. They don't have the whole idea. They just know that they have a problem. And so that's what we try to cultivate there. So it's something that I do when I first came in. Brokers literally were like a third of the group. We're trying to continue to grow that. Lots of good participation by people in this room, vendors, MLS. We're just trying to get more brokers into that room. So if you can help us out with that, we greatly appreciate it. And we're going to have Jessica Edgerton on tomorrow, which is always a fun and interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to that. And other than that, I invite you to join us. Lots of good things Sam mentioned earlier. Red Bee kind of came out of those conversations. One data feed, broker feed. Those might have been carried on by other organizations in other spaces, but ultimately they percolate it in broker advisory. So we want to keep that conversation going. So thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Lambro. I'm a Scorpio. I like long walks on short planks. This is a dating game, right? No. Internet tracking. Our focus on internet tracking is to streamline the analysis of tracking information. As an industry, we do so much good with distribution. We're distribution champions. But on the tracking end, it's still silos, or even worse, areas where there's no activity at all. And the mission from our group is really just to connect those silos and spread the value. These guys focus a lot on the data that goes inside a listing. We focus on the listing. The listing is the data itself, right, to us. Where does it go? Who did it come from? Who's viewing it, and for how long? Where did we come from? I just feel like this philosopher right now. There's a lot going on in our work group as far as trying to make this better for all of us. There's a lot going on today. I'm normally an uplifting guy, but there's a lot of gray clouds coming our way, right? Inflation, interest rates, jobs, that are being lost. There's a lot going on. Consumer confidence is dropping. There's so much that, we don't know the next 12 to 24 months where clients are going to be coming from. But the internet's still going to be there, right? The web view is still going to be there. In fact, I believe the web view is going to grow exponentially as far as matters, right? Brokers and agents are still going to have to reinvent the way they interact with clients. If showings are declining 25% nationally, how are you going to gauge interest on a property? Tracking is going to be there. And RESO's in a great spot to help. And you can help too by participating in our amazing work group and listening to our horrible jokes that normally come from me. We meet tomorrow at 7:30, I think, or 7, I don't know. Bring your breakfast burritos and your mimosas, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we can help the future. So thanks.
Good morning. I'm Chris Jr. And along with my awesome Vice Chair, Catherine waved to everybody. We're the Interoperability Power Hour. Our work group works on interoperability between different systems across platforms in real estate. We've worked on transaction management since our group got chartered. We're deep into offer management. And actually, we've also talked a lot about an industry map. We like to refer a lot of things back to Data Dictionary after talking with vendors and everyone else in the space. And then from the industry map, that's something where we can hopefully refer some issues back to research and development. So we meet second Tuesday of every month at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you can do all the other time conversions on your own. And then tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I believe, right after breakfast, right after internet tracking. So for those of you who skipped that meeting because you're eating breakfast, you can show up to ours on time. Please join us, and thank you very much. Who's next? Which Mark?
Me? Hey, my name is Mark Lesswing. I run the Distributed Ledger work group. We're going to meet Thursday morning at 8:30. And if anybody was in, just so you know that it sounds a little way out to do this blockchain stuff. But if anybody remembers Boise, anybody was here Boise? I'll tell you two things that came out of Boise from this particular work group were events and push. But you can see how we start these ideas and they kind of work through the other groups. So what we're going to talk about Thursday morning is generating non-dues revenue. We're going to talk about controlling terms of use of data using the technology itself. And we have business cases we're actively working on. So welcome and really tune in on the calls. They're 1 hour. It's the last Tuesday of the month. It's a pretty interesting group. And it's a little bit out there, but we're trying to do a lot of education as well. We have some really good stuff on Thursday morning.
Hello, I'm Mark Bessett. I chair the UPI work group with Matt Casey from CRS. And the Universal Property ID is all about unification. Right now we have data that's fragmented everywhere that's not necessarily MLS data. And we help put Humpty Dumpty back together again with the UPI. It's been a long haul with the UPI as far as growth and adoption. But now we're seeing some acceleration that's really kind of unprecedented. We have the national data aggregators coming on board that are really giving us a lot of validation on the data, and there'll be some things that we'll be talking about at the user group or the work group on, I guess that's Wednesday. It's been a wild ride, and that's about it. We do have a lot of bad jokes in our meeting too, as well. So you can always come for those. Thanks.